Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly and Muttley with sick laughter, a gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. I feel like these four lines perfectly encapsulate the phenomenon that I want to talk about today. Of course, I'm talking about the masked supervillain of hip hop, the man known as MF Doom. Now, on New Year's Eve of 2021, we found out that MF Doom, birth name Daniel Dumile, sadly had passed away 2 months prior in October of 2020. So today I wanted to talk about this artist who has had a profound impact on my life. In the days following the news of MF Doom's passing, I saw a lot of tributes, a lot of people talking about how they started listening to MF Doom and what his art meant to them. And I wanted to do something like that myself. A short history. I'll link to some other videos and articles if you want to know more about where MF Doom came from. But he was born Daniel Dumile. He was born in the UK and then he moved to New York City, US. He began as a break dancer and a graffiti artist, followed after a few years by a record label signing him and his brother into a rap trio called KMD. And in the early 90s, 93, 92, something like that, I want to say, they had their first album and they were starting to get some good success in the hip hop industry. But then tragedy struck and MF Doom's brother, Daniel Dumile's brother, DJ Subrock, passed away and they were dropped from the record label. And for the next 5 years or so, he was almost destitute and homeless, and through very harsh times in his life, he somehow brought himself together and he came back in 1999 as the masked supervillain that everybody knows and loves today. And in the first album that he released as MF Doom, Operation Doomsday, right in the first song, he gives a little bit of information about what this new persona is about, what this new attitude is about. And he says, on Doomsday, ever since the womb till I'm back where my brother went, that's what my tomb will say. Better than my government Dumile, either unmarked or engraved, hey, who's to say? You see, in the interim of 5 years where he was almost homeless and he was going through all these tribulations in his life, he began to take inspiration from the things that he loved as a child, meaning comic books, cartoons, and things like that. And he used those to create a new persona, a new artistic mindset. Of course, MF Doom, Metal Fingers as a producer and Metal Face as a rapper, is based on the villain in the Fantastic Four called Victor Von Doom or Dr. Doom. And MF Doom also ended up making different personas for himself. There was MF Doom, who is the supervillain. There's Victor Von, who is a young and upcoming person who looks up to MF Doom but secretly thinks that he can do a better job than MF Doom. And then there is King Ghidorah, who is a mystical creature who speaks through MF Doom. Basically, that's the inspiration, or he's sort of the divine figure behind all of these actions, pulling the strings, so to speak. So he created a cinematic universe within his own art that's way ahead of his time. These days we see the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all these things, but back in late 90s, early 2000s, MF Doom had begun the journey towards creating this kind of a cinematic universe for himself. And in each of these different personas, you can see different styles, different subject matters, and so on, while still remaining the same MF Doom's quintessential style. Of course, also there were a lot of collaborations with different artists, the most famous of which is Mad Villainy, which is Mad Villain, Madlib, the producer, and MF Doom as a rapper and also in a producer role They had one of the most iconic underground hip hop albums called Mad Villainy in 2004 that has a lot of different artists have said in the past has been their inspiration for thinking of hip hop in a different light. Before, they didn't even fathom that hip hop could be used to tell a story in this manner, or the different techniques that they had used and the different lyrical schemes that had been used and so on. There's so many different details deep within this Mad Villainy album that it became an instant classic. And recently, I believe it has gone silver in the UK posthumously after MF Doom's passing. Of course, people have gone back or new people have been discovering MF Doom's music and the discography. And as we go, more and more things will be discovered within that. There's so much information, there's so many tidbits, small things enveloped in all of the entire discography. One bit of a personal story from me. In 2019 summer, I just moved to a new apartment and the bus route didn't take me all the way there, so I had to walk about a mile to my apartment after the bus dropped me off at a bus stop. And at that point, I was creatively unfulfilled. I was thinking about what next steps to take as in my career and in my life in general. I was spinning my tires, not really going anywhere, kind of stuck in a rut. And back then I used to listen to another great album by MF Doom under the Victor Vaughn persona called Vaudeville Villain. And there the whole story of MF Doom being the supervillain, but Victor Vaughn is the up and coming person who has a chip on his shoulder and thinks, I can do better, I deserve more, and some kind of that brash arrogance, chip on your shoulder mentality. And I really resonated with that during that time. I felt, or I still feel to an extent, that I have a lot more to give. I can do better than I'm doing right now, and the so-called top guys up there, I know I can do a better job than them right now. And of course, there's the aspect of Victor Vaughn being served humble pie on many occasions throughout the album, and it's how he's learning from that, how he's not gone through the trials and tribulations, what makes MF Doom the supervillain in that universe. And it's such a great thematic consistency throughout this whole album, great thematic consistency throughout the discography even. Another thing that comes to my mind when thinking about MF Doom is how he stayed true to his artistic style and his artistic vision throughout his career. I like to compare it to, let's say, Eminem, where Eminem started off as a particular style, and then as time went on, I feel like he bought into his own hype, or he wanted to pander to his fans, or he's trying to recapture something that doesn't exist anymore, and now he just has become this curmudgeon-y, middle-aged kind of a person, burnt out in some ways. There's so much that could have happened but has sort of stagnated or gone wrong. But when you think of MF Doom and the discography, he's always just as fresh and as great as he was right in the beginning. Maybe you can say like towards the end, the rapping didn't have as much energy in it or something like that. But again, that was also a part of his greater plan. When asked in one of the rare interviews, he said he didn't actually listen to hip hop. This was more about a profession. It's just a job for me. And, the rhyme schemes that were so complex were all about the word games, how many words you can have or how many rhymes you can make in a particular set of bars and so on. And it's just such an interesting and fascinating thing, because here's this guy who has an artistic vision and he just does whatever he wants to do. He raps about what he wants to rap about. He uses his flair in the ways that only he wants, using old, even Hollywood and Bollywood, to sometimes samples, using old cartoons and old comic book sort of references and samples from those TV shows and so on. And again, there's so many different rhyme schemes and so on. He stayed true to whatever he wanted to do, whatever he wanted to talk about. He sometimes used to send fake imposter dooms to concerts if he didn't think that the payment that he was receiving was good enough. And it was easier for him to do because he had the mask, this mask up here. He used to wear the trademark mask. So at least for a few minutes, he could fool others into believing he's there while he's not actually there. And when he was finally asked about this kind of thing, he said, why would you do that? That's cheating. That's wrong. His response was simply, everything we do is villain style. He committed to the persona of being a villain. And that's exactly what a villain would do in that situation. And I know Victor Von Doom, the character in the TV shows and in the comic books, used to have clones called Doom bots. And again, that's the bringing it all together in real life. Everything we do is villain style. I mean, can you think about someone who would do that these days? Especially in today's age where we have these everybody's relatable, right? Everybody's supposed to be, I'm just like you, I'm a human being, even though I'm a celebrity, this is something that you can look up to and live up to if you earn enough or so on, that kind of thing. And here is every detail about my life in minute detail, and you can know a little bit too much about these celebrities today because you have to be relatable, right? But MF Doom was one of the last of his kind where there was an aura of mystique, mysteriousness, secrecy about everything that he did, which really helped, in my opinion, to just form the legend of MF Doom. See, now he passed away and we knew about it on December 31st, 2020. But instead of talking about any personal life stuff about him, we only talk about this is how I discovered MF Doom and this is what he meant to me and how mysterious and how over the top he was the most relatable thing about him in a weird way. And I feel like he may be the only person or the last in his style where the celebrity isn't some kind of a human being but a mysterious figure that we don't know about their personal life. We only know them through their art and we are trying to pick through the art to find out more about them. I feel like that's a really unique thing that I'm going to miss about MF Doom. And of course, speaking of art, the complex rhyme schemes that he had in every verse. He used to play word games with his brother at a young age, and that's what trained him to add so many rhymes and rhyme words that you wouldn't think was possible to even rhyme. So for example, from the JJ Doom project, there's a song called Hello Governor, and the song begins with catch a throatful from the fire vocal with ash and molten glass, like I fiala yokel. I think I butchered that last word, but the I fiala yokel is a volcano in Iceland. And who would even think of rhyming this Icelandic word, I fiala yokel, complex word with all these consonants in it, and making it so simple, like making it look so simple rather, which is, fire vocal, ash and molten glass, like Eyjafjalla Jökull. So fire vocal and Eyjafjalla Jökull is, he made it look so easy. And having the thematic consistency in that. So fire vocal, ash, molten glass in that verse. So it brings up that word picture. And that's such a beautiful one of his examples. And there's so many of these examples. And sometimes he said something as simply as, only in America you could find a way to earn a healthy buck and still keep your attitude on self-destruct. See, again, just a slight political commentary or social commentary. Some of the videos for his music were also ahead of their time. Like for example, the video for the song Dead Bent, where there are two videos side by side and they are in the reverse chronological order. So one goes from start to finish and the second goes from finish to start, and you can see them how to move past each other. And that's a very unique thing that I've never seen before. Now I think I'll end this video here. I can go on and on about MF Doom, but if there's one thing I want to take away from his life and his career, it's that how you can rebuild yourself, how you can take cues from your own life. Find something within yourself when you're down and out. You find some inspiration, creativity within yourself from your past to help you rebuild and create a new image of yourself and reach heights you never had before. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and it's helping me process this sudden passing. Even in his passing, he has created chaos one last time in true villain fashion. In the comments, let me know if you have any such inspirational artists in your life, or if you have any stories of MF Doom even. Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching again, and remember, all caps when you spell the man's name. I'll see you next time.